Everybody, happy Tuesday. I know you missed us last night, right? I got a few messages. Where were you? Oh, we weren't on, but we're here today. Ricky is just getting back from Walt Disney World. Actually, she just got back, but she's got the dreaded work today. I have a family obligation this evening, so we couldn't record this evening. So we are here right now getting this week's shows hammered out for you. So happy Tuesday afternoon, Halloween Eve. We're in the spirit here. You got your Yzma ears. I got my Casey hot dog special going on.
I wonder if people know who Yzma is. We'll have to hear in the comments. We'll see in the comments if people know Yzma.
I only know her from the cruise line.
Scary.
Is that the Golden Mickeys that she's in? Is that the one? I'm trying to remember. Yzma. I think it was Golden Mickey's because
it's like hard because
they're all kind of like reviews, like a little, little
they are. They are.
It's all the same show. It just got different patterns.
It's whether Mickey's hosting it or it's that little girl and her dad who are hosting it, or
it could be dream. Is that the no? It's one of those words. Imagine.
No. Yes, dream. I don't know. Magic. Imagine. Magic.
Malcolm, this is a UK special show just for our UK listeners today.
Right?
Time in the UK, baby. Hot dogs and all. All right. So we're going to answer your list of questions first. So if you have questions, you can put those in the chat. We're going to go to the inbox and then we are Disney Dreams. That's right. I thought that's what it was. I love that one. Actually kind of makes me cry though, because it's the father-daughter thing, dude. That gets me every time. That's just brutal. Let's see here. Yep, Jonestown in Florida. You're winning. I'm in St. Louis. Even though it is 76 here today, so I can't really
complain. Is it really? Oh, it's kind of cold and rainy here.
Yeah, but it's gonna be rainy and cold for Halloween tomorrow. Of course, it's like 76, beautiful today, and then tomorrow it's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, but you know what that means, and you have lots of candy left over.
But we go out, so we're about collecting because we're doing it. I'm wearing this, I think.
Malcolm said, did I used to be on Scooby-Doo like Velma or something?
Sure, you do look like, yeah.
No, I was with the Emperor's New Groove. This you can tell because of this thing right here.
Yes.
This little part, the Yzma part.
Oh, curly Q thing. Okay.
I know.
Get to work here before we lose Pam. She's got a little cough going on. I know how that is. I've been there the last few.
If this happens, then you have to carry on without me.
I will. It'll be a solo. It's just like my worst nightmare. No, not a hot dog solo show. What's worse than a solo mic show? A solo mic show in a hot dog costume.
I like the way that your ears look on the top of your hot dog.
I don't think those are. You mean my muffs?
Yes, that's what I mean.
I was gonna say, can you see my ears? Oh my goodness. No. But I'm a Casey special. I'm actually like a $7.99 hot dog, is what I am. I'm not I'm not a $99 QT dog.
Yeah, but are you a Disneyland corn dog from the corn dog truck?
I guess I could be if I covered all this stuff up. It's making me hungry for some Casey's, to be honest. I hope people aren't getting hungry looking at me. That's weird. All right, Steve. First time getting to watch us. See, every time.
Aren't you glad?
Thought we always podcasted in normal clothes. No, we don't. Always semi-related to Disney.
Plus, here's the thing. When we're recording on Be Live, you can really only see us from like chest up. Who knows what's going on, lower half of our bodies. So
full-length hot dog people. Come to North County, St. Louis County tomorrow night, and you'll see me walking around the neighborhood in this bad dog.
That's true.
All right, here we go. So let's do questions. First one's about a scavenger hunt. Okay, here we go. It's 14. We're in the 1400s. Holy smoly.
Crazy. Who would have thought?
Eddie, I know. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 1401 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the great agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Halloween to you. I hope, first of all, I hope you're not a school teacher today. If you're heading into school today, God help you. I worked that for 17 years. I know how it is. The day, you know what? People always say, people that aren't in education always think, man, November 1st has to be the worst day to be a school teacher because the day after Halloween, the kids are eating all the candy the night before. Honestly, the day after Halloween is fine. The kids are wore out. They're like coming off that sugar. They're exhausted. Actually, November 1st, the day after Halloween, fine. Halloween day, though, I'm telling you, teachers, pack your patience and just be careful because the kids are nuts. So if you're heading in to teach today,
Sure.
oh, my condolences, but have a good time. Dress up as we are here on the Be Live feed on Facebook. So if you haven't checked out the video, go back and check that out. And we're having a good time here as we record. But we're going to have a good time answering your listener questions. Ricky not here. She's just returning from Walt Disney World and Universal for a great weekend down there. She did some haunted houses, went to the Magic Kingdom, had a great meal. I saw it at Garden Grill. She did a lot of fun stuff, and we'll talk about that here next week. But she's back. She went on a great trip out west. Go west, young woman. She went out to Disneyland and all the way out to Hawaii to Aulani. Pam Forrester joining us from the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, welcome back. I know you got a little bit of the Disney crud going on, as we always do, returning from a trip.
It's true. And it's extra special crud since I went 6 time zones. So try to recover from that. Like, you don't just come home one day and you're like, woohoo, I'm done. So anyways, but yeah, and I just want to take a minute, maybe just a moment, to just mention what happened in Pittsburgh last weekend. We had that horrible shooting, and just wanted to say that, you know, Pittsburgh is a city that has so many cultures that are represented and celebrated on a daily basis. It was just heartbreaking to see that. That was so close to where we went to school. I drove past that church, that synagogue many times, that temple, and there just is no room for hate like that anywhere. And the thing that I will take with this is the way, you know, that Mr. Rogers quote that when bad things happen, you have to look for the helpers. And there were just so many. The policemen that ran in there to help, the people that lined up immediately to give blood and do everything, and the outpouring of support has been overwhelming. So anyways, I think it's just so hard for so many people to wrap their head around. And I think that's a good thing. We don't understand that level of hate, thankfully. And we don't have to. So anyways, I'm going to continue to look for the helpers because I think that's how we beat things like this. So
absolutely. Because I did see, you know, I heard about I was at the football game, so I'm kind of detached from the news when I'm in the football stadium because it's loud and you don't hear your phone and so forth. And heard about it on the drive home because we're about 2.5 hours back from Mizzou to our house, and you know, Mallory's in the car, so we try not to, you know, get into the deep news when she's there. She'll find out about the bad stuff soon enough. You know, she knows it's going on, but we don't want to debate it in the car while she's there. But I had time to process it, and the thing that I noticed immediately was how Pittsburgh rallied. You know, you guys, it wasn't like 72 hours later that the community was rallying as one, and not, you know, they didn't worry about denominational differences, racial differences, ideological differences. It was just, you know, we're Americans, we're Pittsburghans, where you guys are called from Pittsburghers. I don't know what you're called, but I mean, you guys rallied together. And I mean, I think that what I saw was the United States could learn a lot from your town. So, you know, moving forward, our prayers and thoughts obviously are with your town. And I hope that, you know, those families find comfort soon, because I know it's hard, but we're thinking of them, and your town did proud this past week.
Awesome. For sure. Yeah.
All right, let's hop into some Disney. We don't get too dark here on a podcast. We're going to have good, but I'm glad that we could talk about that and get that out there. So first of all, we've got a question from Logan. He says, Uncle Logan from Dallas, Texas, 1,092 miles away from Walt Disney World. Mike, Pam, and Ricky, longtime listener, first-time caller. Before I begin, I just wanted to thank you all for your time and selfless dedication for us Disney files. Mike, I can almost hear your happy Monday, everyone, when I click play. I'm glad you like that. Try to, you know, hey, it's all about attitude, so hopefully it does help, folks. When I get a notification that a new episode is available, I smile, knowing my commute to and from work will be a good note. Will be on a good note. Also, I am counting on seeing you get arrested for storming the field in Tuscaloosa after a Mizzou upset. Sorry about that. First quarter looked good when we were down in Alabama. After that, not so much. He says, LSU Tigers take them on Saturday, November 3rd at Death Valley, and I'll be honest, I'm liking our chances. Okay. Okay, well, that's this Saturday, so good luck, bro, on that one. I don't know. 2 is pretty awesome. All right, here's the Disney question. This December, my entire family, 13 of us, will be staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge Kidani for our yearly family trip. My nephews are 5 and 7, and I'm wanting to put something together for them. I'm thinking of a scavenger hunt of sorts. I'm already surprising them with a Caring for Giants tour at Animal Kingdom, and I'm aware that there are crafts and activities at the resort, but I'm hoping to curate something for them personally. Most of my online queries deal with Disney vacation reveals, and I'm aware that there are park-specific scavenger hunts, but I want to give them something that would stretch further than just the resort or one park. Could you suggest or point me in the direction that would help this come together? Thanks so much again for everything and look forward to the next episode. Go Tigers, Logan. All right. So, I love this idea because I think that, obviously Logan, he's a Disney fan, but I like when Disney fans really want to give a deeper experience for the other members of the family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, a 5 and a 7-year-old are the perfect age for a scavenger hunt. And I like the idea, so I think about this. He wants to go beyond just Animal Kingdom Lodge, which you could do a heck of a scavenger hunt just in that resort. There's so much art, the artifacts, you could do something with, like you said, the crafts, just going to see finding out facts about certain animals that are out on the savannah. But if he wants to stretch it out, what I would do is make it 4 or 5 days worth of the vacation where, maybe, say your Epcot day, you have them, just create simple quality. They're 5 and 7, so you don't make it too hard. So maybe like, what's the third country in the World Showcase if you enter from Mexico? Because that's easy to verify, but it'll give them a reason to pay attention as they walk. Okay, Mexico. Okay, now we're in Norway. Okay, oh, it's China. And they get together, they put their, or just like some artifacts in one of the display galleries in World Showcase. The studios, you could have them, see how many, how many times is Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story Land or something like that, because it doesn't have to be right or wrong. It's about the experience. But I mean, that's kind of the thing I'm thinking. And of course, build some of those things from Animal Kingdom Lodge in. But what might you suggest, Pam?
So I think those are great ideas. The other thing I would suggest is maybe incorporate some things that help them learn how to navigate the park. So in other words, incorporate something that brings them into maybe the bus transportation or Magical Express if you're using that. Find some way to incorporate that. Find some way to incorporate maybe using the app, maybe using that new Disney Play app, when you're in line for one of those things. Find something that does that. Find something that has them maybe mobile ordering, that one of the restaurants that you're going to, you can have them mobile order. Then you're kind of like edutainment, right? You're like showing them how to use all these things in there. But, those are going to be things that really benefit them and help them navigate the parks differently. Absolutely include things like the Kid Cot stops. I know that they're a little older, but everyone likes the Kid Cot stops, right? I mean, I like the Kid Cot stops, so that's a cool thing. Make sure that you incorporate some of those traditional snacks that everyone talks about. You got to do the Dole Whip and, stuff from the countries in Epcot. And of course, there's got to be some kind of cupcake that somebody wants. So do things like that. But I think just all those things that you've learned about as being, learning about Disney and planning this trip, incorporate those in too.
And Jeanette, one of the great agents who always covers my rear end anytime I go on a vacation, she's one of the best, like taking care of my guests for Marathon, which is in 70 days. Oh my gosh, 70 days from today. That's ridiculous. Can you believe in 70 days it'll be 2019? I mean, besides,
that's crazy.
She says in our live chat, she makes a special checklist for her niece and nephew. They're 7 and 3.5. So they could check off some of the fun things they do. They're going to do during the day, and anytime they take a break, they go back to the list, mark off what they've done. Children that young don't have a super long attention span, she says, so pictures and stickers are good too. I like that. And I love the idea of the Kid Kat Fun Stops because it's built in. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're learning some culture. They're getting a tangible thing to take with.
Right.
I like that. And
yeah, I do too.
Get a hot dog. I'm just saying.
Or at least little corn dog nuggets.
Oh, they're even better. That costume's just hard because it's in a bunch of pieces. So I'm not actually. This is Paige. She's away at school, so I just went and grabbed it. All right, wore this for like a cheer in cross country or something. I don't even know. They were weird. Anyway, the next email says, "How do I turn this around?" It's from Brittany. And she says, "Hi, BOGP. I'm a fairly new listener of the podcast, and I binged it before my trip that I'm on. And I doubt you'll be able to get back to me before I go back home. But I still wanted to ask you this. For some background, my mom got married and for her honeymoon, she wanted to do Disney, but she wanted to make it a family trip. So me and her spent 1 to 2 years getting as much as we could planned and figured out. Well, her new husband invited his daughter, and while we get along, we vacation very differently. She is the type of person that runs from ride to ride and never stops to take pictures or enjoy things, and I'm the opposite. I enjoy seeing everything at an average pace so I don't wear down. I feel like this is creating tension between the families because before we went on the vacation, we all thought we'd be doing a lot of stuff together, and it ends up we're constantly losing each other. And my mom stays with me, and my brother and her new husband goes with his daughter. My mom is feeling really sad about this because this vacation was all started to celebrate them, and I just want to try to make things better. If anyone has any advice for this, please help. Thank you in advance and keep on being awesome. Well, Brittany, you're awesome. Thanks for writing in. And you know what? I think that it took a lot of courage to write this email. That's why I wanted to make sure we got to it as quickly as possible, because I think that, you know, when you're going down with family or even a larger group of friends, there's so many variables that, you know, we see the Disney planning videos and we kind of have an expectation of, you know, grandpa's going to be doing a little dance in some kind of a gazebo with the 3-year-old granddaughter, because we've all seen that like in the videos for a decade. And while I think those things happen very, very frequently, there's also the fact that as much as I love like my cousins or my sister that I don't see very often, or my mom that I don't ever hang out with, you know, but we've gone to Disney before. I've never been around them 24/7 for a week ever, you know? And so even like I have my different ideas on how, like what I like to eat, when I like to eat, where I like to eat. Those things can cause tension, you know, because what if she wants to eat at 7? I like to eat at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, with all the old people. That's me because I'm old, you know, like it's just, I think the thing is the best advice I can have. She's asking, how do you turn this around? This trip's already over. So I think what you got to do is move forward on this. But the best advice I can give in a situation like this is kind of, you know, you have to have a lot of give and take. But I think that, you know, you got to think about things going in before you go there and just know that, you know, there's going to be a lot of that, because as much as you think, you know, the people you're traveling with, you've probably spent maybe you know, you're never 24/7 with the people. And I think it's hard to be with anybody 24/7. We've learned that, you know, I mean, we've traveled together many times, and we have a better time when we do a lot of stuff together, but then we have a break and then we see each other later. That's how it works out for us. Like when we travel with you know, your family, my family, Ricky, you know, whoever, we have all the lizards. What have you learned? Because I think this is more common than people like to admit.
It's true. And I will say, I just got back from a vacation. We were with my parents in Alani, and we were all staying at in a 2-bedroom villa there at Alani. So we absolutely, you know, have this issue to deal with. And I think, first of all, going into it, you have to just realize that everyone has to be able to give a little bit, and realize that this may not be exactly the way that you want to do it, but the rewards are absolutely going to outnumber any kind of thing that you feel as if you're missing. So because somebody really wants to go fast, and some of you want to go slow, I think maybe the way to approach that would be in the morning. That's the perfect time to check some things off, right? One right after the other. Boom, boom, boom. And then you're going to be using your fast pass during the rest of the day, and you'll have stuff to do in between. So while you don't have to stay together all the time, I would be absolutely planning things that all of you can enjoy, like plan meals together. I mean, it's not like you can go that much on a meal, right? I mean, you know, you can only eat so fast. So hopefully everyone will be able to enjoy that. But I think I think one of the things you need to do is address that there's going to be differences, find places where you can compromise. So you can do things a little faster here. They can do things a little slower here, and then make time to spend time together. Make that important, because it is. And I think everyone will walk away really happy.
Totally. And I love the idea of, you know, saying morning time is a really good time to kind of get in the hurry up offense. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to get more, you know, trying to beat the crowds, get as much done as you can. But I like that, you know, once afternoon and evening hits, there's really no reason to run. You know, you're getting a little more tired. You've been on your feet more during the day. That's a great time to take the pictures, slow down, you know, smell the roses, as people say. You know, that's a great time. I like that. But I mean, I think it's a conversation that you just need to have with people.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, this is what I like in my trip, and I'm here. You know, I know that you appreciate this in your trip, and you're here. How can we make this all work together? Because you're all adults. And I mean, the bottom line is your mom and her new husband, that's kind of their celebration. They want the family to all, you know, if if everybody else around them's not happy, I don't, because I'm a parent now, I'm on the other side of things, you know, like if my kids aren't happy, no matter how much fun I'm having at Walt Disney World, I'm not having a good time because I want them to have a good time. That's my focus. So that's good stuff. All right. So Betsy, I love Betsy because she was the one worried about us yesterday when we weren't on the air at 4:30 recording live. I was going through Taco Bell and I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry we're not on the air. So Betsy says, when I went with my family this summer, we broke up for a bit during the day and came together for meals so we could all do what we wanted at the pace we wanted. That way we all had a great vacation and still enjoyed being together. You know, that is just spot on because I've heard so many people say, you know, you don't have to be together 24/7, but do sit down for meals. You know, start the day off with a breakfast, talk about what you're going to do for the day, get back together at lunch or at dinner and kind of recap. I think that's what's great about a cruise. You do that a lot with your table mates, even folks you don't know. Sure. You'll go on different excursions through the day, do different things around the ship, but you say, hey, what'd you guys do today? You know, and it's a great way to kind of, you know, just have a good time together. All right, so I hope that turns around. So thanks, Brittany, so much. Next is Ashley. She just put, please help in all caps at the top of the email. So I'm like, okay, we'll try. Hi, Mike. I was hoping to get your attention with that subject line. I know you look at those, and whichever one catches your eye, you look at first. My husband, Jared, and I are coming to Walt Disney World in 28 days. To give you a little background, we're flying in on Thanksgiving, and we'll be there for a week. We're doing a split stay at Pop Century and Wilderness Lodge. We can't wait to stay at Wilderness Lodge with all the awesome Christmas decorations. Okay, so here's my dilemma. While we're there, my husband turns 30. Wait, why is that a dilemma? Okay, wait, maybe it gets to, okay, let's see what else. Better than not turning 30, I guess. Now you see, I am the big Disney fan in the family. He likes Disney too, but it's way more my thing than it is his. It's a big birthday, so I want to do something to make him feel special. I'm trying to figure out something to do to surprise him while we're down there. The only thing he really asked for was Ohana for dinner on his birthday, which I do have booked. He's a good man, but he knows what he wants, and I am 100% with your husband, boy. That's the God. I would love to have Ohana. The good thing is my birthday is right around Thanksgiving, so that's if it wasn't, I would need Ohana. Let's see here. I'm wondering if you, Ricky, or Pam have any outside the box ideas for me to surprise him with while we're there. I've thought about ordering him a cake, but he's not a huge sweets person. What's wrong with him? I also thought about doing a tour of some sort, but I'm not sure which one will be best. He has also requested that we go around and look at the resorts decorated for Christmas. Do you have any fun ideas for incorporating something birthday-ish with that? I'm running out of time and I need your help, guys. P.S. We met you and Ricky in August at the Indy Disney Meet. It was so fun to chat with you two in person. Thanks so much for your help, Ashley. She's 835 miles away from Walt Disney World. And I do remember meeting Ashley at the Indy Disney Meet. It was a ton of fun, and it was just a crazy day. It was just nuts that day. So thanks for coming by and seeing us. All right, so here's what I have. Okay, so Ohana is just nails. And Wilderness Lodge, right at the beginning of the Christmas season, you're doing it right, man. And Pop Centuries is fun, but I mean, you know, Wilderness Lodge, Christmas, you win.
For sure.
Here's what he sounds like he likes Christmas decorations like me. I love Christmas decorations. What I would do, because I've seen this during the Halloween season this year, Fort Wilderness has just blown it out of the water with the people putting up. I mean, you were out of town, so you probably didn't see a lot of this on social media. There were people that had this one campsite. These folks made it like Pirates of the Caribbean, and they had skulls and skeletons and stuff all around their campsite, and they moved like they were like animated, like it was like going on the ride. It was nuts, like it was a campground. So here's what I would do, because you know what, going over to Fort Wilderness, since you're already at Wilderness Lodge, would be fun, but more fun, rent a golf cart for the night, just cruise around in that. I love driving golf carts. That's a great way to see it. You know, get some hot chocolate from you know, right there at and we'll say Trader Sam's, the little window next to the trading post. So next to, what's the restaurant? I can't remember the name of the restaurant. Trails Inn.
Trails Inn. Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with me? But I would do that. Grab some hot chocolate, rent a golf cart, you know, for a little while, and just cruise around. You could even do you could book the wagon ride. We did that. That was a ton of fun too. But I do the golf cart, just you two, and have a good time. So that would be that's kind of outside the box. What do you say, Pam?
I love that idea. I think it's so fun, and they do decorate so much over at Fort Wilderness. The other thing I would say is definitely do that Magic Kingdom loop on the monorail and stop at each one of the monorail resorts just to see those decorations. You're staying at the Wilderness Lodge, so you'll be able to take the boat over the Contemporary, and then you can start the monorail loop there. Get off at each one. Maybe you even want to pick up a special ornament at each one. I mean, you only have the Contemporary, the Polynesian, and the Grand Floridian. So you're only talking 3 ornaments. We're not talking like 100 or something like that. So you could get an ornament there. But the other great thing about this is that each of these resorts has little snacks that you can get only there. And I know you said he's not a big dessert person, but I mean, we're talking like cookies and, you know, gingerbread and stuff like that. I mean, you got to get a shingle from the gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian, right?
You're killing me. I love Christmas. I love Christmas snacks, boy. Oh.
So you can do that there. You can get something fun from the Polynesian, something fun from the Contemporary, a little bit of food, a little bit of Christmas. I think you can't go wrong there. And then if you want to do another loop, one of the days that you're over at Epcot, go ahead over and see the Beach Club, the Yacht Club, and the Boardwalk. They're all worth seeing.
Yep. And as Brian says, get a birthday button, smack that on. Even though he's not a Disney fan, he'll get so much pixie dust right there. He'll probably either love wearing that button or hate it, but it'll be fun either way for you. So yeah, they're dinner at Narcoossee's. Okay, Doug throws that out there. Good. Yeah, I mean, the Ohana and Narcoossee's 1-2 combo, you're eating well. Yeah, I like it. So I think that will get him set up. A little Christmas spirit here on Halloween. Gotta like that. All right, TJ's up next. He says Thanksgiving dessert is the title of his. It says we have a trip over Thanksgiving planned. I'm considering booking the Fantasmic dessert package, for our trip. Unfortunately, I can't find many reviews of this online, which is making me nervous. Do any of you have experience with this? If so, what are your thoughts? Also, when booking, it's showing a 7 o'clock reservation for a 9 o'clock Fantasmic show. That seems extremely early for this, especially since you just get a dessert box opposed to the traditional dessert party. Enjoy the show and keep on running. TJ's in Wheaton, Illinois. He follows it up. He says, part 2 of this question, which would you recommend, the Fantasmic dessert package or Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam party? All right, I'm going to go with part 2 first. Now, let me ask you this first, Pam. I've never been to the Fantasmic dessert package. I've never done that. Have you?
I have. It has been a while, but I have done it. And you do get sort of a VIP sort of seating, they call it. The desserts, it's mostly desserts. I think they have like some cheese and crackers as well as maybe some nuts. And some of them are like berries, like chocolate covered strawberries or things like that. So make sure you know what that is and if that's stuff that you want. It's actually an inexpensive thing to do, especially in terms of Disney and dessert parties. I think it's only about $40 per person. Hello, yes.
Yeah.
40, not 400 or there are other digits. So in the world of Disney dessert parties, this is your bargain for that. I'm not sure what the thinking is behind having you go there 2 hours before. I think you just have to pick up your box at least 2 hours before, and that might be the case. But yeah, I don't know that this is something that gets as much play as some of the other ones, and that's why. I think I would lean more, I will say, towards the Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. Just because, yeah.
Here's the thing about because I have done that one. And I will say that, for one thing, Ricky and I really talked about this last week while you were gone, how we really, really like the studios at Christmas now. Like the decorations, kind of the retro feel to the place and just how they've, at the Magic Kingdom, Main Street USA is amazing, but they don't really extend it out too much beyond Main Street with the decorations and so forth, where they carried a little further at the studios. The decorations fit. It's very festive at the studios now during Christmas, especially that area where they have Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. You have Echo Lake right there. You got the tree out there in the lake, and there's lots of decorations in that general area. The desserts were killer for that party. Loved them. And you're just right there in a prime spot. And I like Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam a lot. When I first heard about it before I saw it, I thought, because like who'd seen Prep and Landing? I still haven't seen it, so I really don't know the backstory of it, but it is so cool looking with the colors, the lasers, the pyrotechnics, it's just, it's an amazing thing to see. Lots of Christmas music in it. I mean, you're right. The thing is, Fantasmic's fun. In the dessert party would be a lot of fun too, but Fantasmic's been there for ages, and it's there, all year long. Where Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam is celebrating the specific reason, probably you're down there for the holidays, and I think you might, with it only being that short window that you can see it, I might go for the special thing when I get the chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I just There's something about all those holiday experiences that I just can't get enough of. And you're absolutely right about Hollywood Studios. I mean, it's transformed at the holidays. It really, really is. It's totally worth going there just to see it. So,
And Amy is saying they just did the Fantasmic VIP dessert party about a week ago. Definitely reasonably priced in comparison. My daughter felt very special being VIPs. I like that. We arrived at about 7:15 for the 8 o'clock show. Timing is really just a matter of getting the best spots in the reserve section. So there you go. It's just
okay.
if you're there at 7, you're probably sitting wherever you want. So
Yeah.
glad to show up.
Right.
And Jamie says Prep and Landing should be on your holiday movie list. Fun movie. All right. So
It is.
okay. Check. I will have to watch that.
Get the second one too. Both.
Oh, and Nancy, I got to say this too before we get to the next question, because this past weekend was the Marine Corps Marathon in DC, I believe it was. We had tons of lizards running. I was following on social media. I wanted to say this at the top of the show. I forgot. Congratulations to everybody who completed that marathon. It looked amazing. The pictures, I mean, I love it because you're supporting the troops by doing that. And all those pictures of the medals and the smiles with the Marines. Those Marines are probably laughing at you like, I can do this with my pack on my back. Maybe not. It probably could. Yeah, they probably can. But, it's like, it was so cool to see that. And Nancy really mentioned about the camaraderie of the lizards. There was a big group there, and she wanted to thank Captain Mike for bringing everybody together, and Joe Fickus for all he does as well, kind of our co-captains there. So I couldn't agree more. So proud of you guys. So, and TJ just hopped in. He just heard the very end of his question. So now he has to listen to the podcast. So
that's how we get you. We get you in.
So I saved this question until you were back, Pam, because it is the title of its hashtag freaking magical spa experience during Wine and Dine 2018. And today, BOGP crew, Mike, Ricky, and Pam. It's funny how she put that, like, just in case there was a confusion on who the BOGP crew is. I guess.
Depends on the day. I don't know.
That's true. Ricky's not here. Next week, as long as Pam gets better, I don't get hit by a car or something, we'll all be here.
We will.
No. Because I missed that. It says, I love the show. Most recently, you helped me through my last long training run of 14 and a half miles prior to this year's Wine and Dine 2-course challenge. Eek! I'm not dopey like Mike. Impressive. Most impressive in my best Darth Vader voice. But I want to give myself, as a back of the pack runner, every chance to complete both races so I can celebrate with food and wine that night. Usually in between the 10K on Saturday and the half on Sunday, I like to get the best kind of sports massage for recovery that I can. I have never had one on property and was wondering if you have recommendations on places on property that would give a great one to get me ready to tackle the half on Sunday. Thanks for the great show. Can't wait to listen again. Amy is in Cape Coral, Florida. All right. So as a gift for my very first full marathon, which I didn't do dopey or goofy or anything, I just did the marathon my first time. Back in 2015, Pam got me a massage, and I think it was either Swedish or sports. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Like I'm some sucker. Like, am I gonna know? Like, you're rubbing my legs, like in my back. I mean, I don't know if it's a sports or a Swedish or whatever, Hungarian. I have no idea. But it was a massage at the Grand Floridian in the Sensa Spa, which is kind of, if you've been to the Grand Floridian, there's a kind of an outbuilding out in the parking lot, and it's very, very nice. Don't get me wrong. It's not like make it sound like it's like an outhouse. It's deluxe, trust me. It's super fancy, but it's not in the main building. You kind of go through the parking lot, but it was unbelievable. Like it wasn't crowded. I did it on the Sunday, or I guess I did it on Monday because the marathon was Sunday. So I did it on the Monday after. Man, here's the thing though. I was sore. Like, and when they would like push on your muscles, like it felt good after a while, but it was kind of a torture thing at first. But like, it's the whole experience at the Sensa Spa. Of course you get robes, you get slippers. They give you the water with all the like lemons and limes, but you don't just go in and like get your massage. You got to sit for a while in like a room with a waterfall, and you can get in a hot tub, and
there's spa music, and it smells good. And
like, I am a fish out of water in this place, man. I do not know what to do. But it was very, very nice, and it did the job. Really, it loosened up my muscles. It got me back to feeling better. I mean, Pam, have you gone to any? I don't know if you're a big fan of the spas, the massages. I don't think you are, but I mean,
I'm not. Isn't that funny? People always are like, "Do you love the spas?" And I'm like, I don't. I just don't. Like, I love the rainforest room. Like, I like going in there and like, I like the smell of stuff. I love all the products, of course. purchase many of the products, but I don't love I don't know, it sounds weird. I don't like other people really touching me.
I get that, but once you get past it, it's magical.
Freaking magical, I'm sure. It's just not my thing. Like, I find plenty of other things to spend money on. Like, did you see those new Kate Spade bags? Hello! They came out. We stopped in Disneyland. They came out while I was there. I may have bought two. Two. I needed two. I know. I had a carry-on bag coming home that was all purses. I'm just going to say this.
You could have had 6 massages for that. What are you thinking?
So, I mean, I know I have lots of things to spend money on. I don't need to do that. So, but Steve's done it a few times. You know, it's just, I think it is a whole experience, and Disney does it wonderful. They really do such a great job. The music is so relaxing. It smells so good. Could those products smell any better?
I know. It's like, you know, here, the thing is, like, a lot, I don't know, but maybe folks do this at home. We used to get massages, couples massages, like once every couple months back when we were both teaching, and I needed to survive teaching. But you know, like, I think most people are kind of like me, you know, like, it's a very big splurge to go to a spa, get a massage when you're on a Disney vacation. And I was like, that's exactly it. The product, you're just like, well, I can use a lot of this. Like, I can make myself smell really good. You know, just laughing like it's going out of business. But I think it's more than the massage. It's the overall experience of it. And I think that's a good way to kind of reward yourself for all the work you've done, especially on a run weekend.
For sure. Look, you deserve it. Go ahead, take advantage of it, and use all the product you can. Like, figure this massage is X number of dollars. Yep, gonna lather on a little more of this. So, anyways, it just is all so awesome.
But Jocelyn knows me well. Mike prefers VO5.
Oh, there it is, the little VO5.
If you want to go high quality, I'm talking about my Zest.
You can like smell that throughout the day to like kind of perk yourself up. Remember those commercials? They wanted to imply that Zest would like wake you up. Zest fully clean.
Right. Thanks. Jocelyn sent me like a case of it. So
do they still make the VO5 though? That's what I want to know. The shampoo.
I don't know, but today when I was watching Price is Right, they had a commercial for Prel. Remember that? That was like Prel was like an old shampoo, I think. Or
yes,
soap.
I think it was like a 2-in-1, wasn't it?
I don't know, but it was like, remember, because they showed like the old commercial.
Oh, wow.
Go back to the thing you remember. I don't know. It's stupid. But anyway, that's why you go to Cabana Bay. Poor Ben Lappin never saw soap the whole time we were there because I was stealing it every time it came out.
Ben Lappin was like, they don't put soap in the room there. So that seems like kind of a rip.
Your roommate, people. I'm just saying. All right. The next question says, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in parentheses planning. It's from Paul. Season's greetings, be our guest question gurus. Halloween is almost here. Actually, it is today. So it must be time for Christmas season touring plan questions. My Magic Kingdom has the Magic Kingdom has early magic hours at 8:00 every day during Christmas week. Do you know if Walt Disney World actually keeps to the normal early magic hour rides, only Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, or if Adventureland and Frontierland are also opened? Touring plans has them opening at 9. Hope your answer makes my Christmas trip planning joyful. And this second grade teacher is already looking forward to winter break. Paul Goofy Pal Hawk, and he is in Montgomery, Alabama. Roll Tide, War Eagle. He's equal opportunity, says. All right, so well, God help you today. Oh my gosh, second grade on Halloween day. I hope you're still alive tomorrow, Paul, because I did second grade on Halloween day, and it wasn't pretty. I lived to tell the tale, but I got a lot of gray hairs because of it. So Pam, that Christmas week, I guess he's talking about the week between Christmas and New Year's. He's a teacher. It's probably when he's going down. I remember those days. If the park says it's opening at 8, I would honestly guess that they're going to start letting guests in around 7:30 even, because as those crowds start to build, they want to get them in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They do. And they'll let you in. I think they'll probably let all the guests in, maybe to Main Street. I don't know. It depends on what they're feeling. They kind of have two modes of operation. One of them is they sort of let everyone in to Main Street, to the castle. And then if you want to disperse to go to any of the lands to ride attractions, Of course, you have to be a park guest, and they will scan your bands for that. The other thing they do is they scan right there at the turnstile, and they actually have separate turnstiles available for guests who are staying on site. So it could be one of those two things. But the other thing that you're going to want to do is go over and check the list of attractions that are available for morning extra magic hours. And they're listed over at the Mouse for Less. And they do kind of stick to those locations in Tomorrowland and Fantasyland for the most part there in the morning. So make sure that you check that. So, and I think they'll probably hold to that for a little bit because that's just a staffing issue. They need to, they know which ones they're going to open early. So.
And Nancy says, yes, VO5 is still around. So breaking news there.
All right, Nancy. Good to know. I'm glad that you people are here to answer questions.
And even better news, Joanne also uses Zest. So there you go. Joanne and I are like, we're soap buddies or something.
Zest fully clean.
That's right. We know she is fully clean because she's Zest fully clean. All right. On that, time for the last question of the day. It says, help this park or that park quandary. It's from Paige. Hi, discovered your show just a week ago and have listened to a truly embarrassing number of podcasts already. I love the funny banter and the great tips.
Okay. Paige, first of all, how did you just find us? I want to know, how'd you stumble upon us? Where did you find out about us?
That is my favorite question. I love hearing where people.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Are we on some kind of message board out there? Are people saying, listen to the Be Our Guest podcast?
It can't be that bad. I'm going to give them a shot.
These regular schmoes are doing a podcast and they have had 1,400 episodes.
Yeah. So, hey, this week, let me know at Be Our Guest Mike. Let me know how you first found out about the show. I'll retweet those too because I love hearing those. Anyway, let's get to the last question. We are taking a family of 6 to the world soon, checking into our hotel on the Saturday after Thanksgiving and checking out the following Saturday. I have 5 days of non-park hopper passes. I was able to get the coveted Pandora Fast passes for Friday and the Slinky Dog passes for Thursday. So those park day decisions are sewn up. We want to do Magic Kingdom for 2 days and Epcot for 1. Our 4 kids are rides oriented. That's literally all they want to maximize. But we do have an almost 6-year-old who will get tired if we push too hard day after day. Here's my quandary. As of now, I have a few fast passes for the Magic Kingdom on Sunday, but not Mine Train. I do have Mine Train for Monday and fast passes for Epcot on Tuesday, and Wednesday would be a rest day. I'm so conflicted about Sunday at the Magic Kingdom since it not only closes at 6 for the party, but also opens early for extra magic hour. We know from our experience 5 years ago that the Magic Kingdom becomes crazy at 4 o'clock with party goers. Would this become a waste of a day pass at the Magic Kingdom? Should I forfeit the fast passes I currently have for Sunday at the Magic Kingdom and Tuesday at Epcot and rearrange our park days to find the lowest crowd so we can ride the most rides? Thanks so much. Paige is in Salem, Virginia. All right. So there's a lot of moving parts to this question.
There absolutely are.
I can't even hardly follow it. It's not Paige's fault. Just there's a lot of variables. And I mean, you're not, I'm looking at it on a gigantic monitor. Here's what I would say in general for Paige's situation and for everybody who's in this spot. We're getting into the season where obviously we've been in the season for about the last 6 weeks or so, where you have hard ticket events affecting decisions on whether to go to the Magic Kingdom or not. Because if it's a party night, obviously the party, they're going to shoo you out of the park at 6. There's 2 ways to look at that. Okay. So first of all, you can say, well, I'm not getting as many hours as I might if I go the next day when there's not a hard ticket event. That's obvious. So you could think about, how many hours am I getting per, how much my ticket costs, and break it down per hour. But there's also the situation of the park may not be as crowded because as there's a hard ticket event, that might shoo a lot of guests over to the other 3 parks because they're not going to go there. I think here's my general advice on this, just my thoughts. If you have, and they don't have a park hopper, but if you have a park hopper, this is a great opportunity to go over to the Magic Kingdom in the morning, knock out stuff, and then hop to another park as the crowds start to build closer to the park closing time. Like she said, is a 4 o'clock, people are showing up for the party. Get out of there, go to Epcot, go somewhere else and enjoy your evening. If you don't have a park hopper though, Pam, what do you think about the situation? I mean, she's got some soft fast passes. but she's not sure if she should work things around. She doesn't have Mind Train. Looks like that's a goal. What do you think about what Paige should do here?
So honestly, we found lately that when the park is closing for a party, we found attendance throughout the day to be less than it typically is. And be it whether people are thinking, well, I want, to get a full day of park somewhere else and whatever. But we have found there are times leading up to the party where it gets really dead. Now you're right. After like 4:00, things do get busy when they start letting those other folks in. But get all your fast passes in, enjoy that time in the morning, and then think of something else to do that evening. You could plan a nice dinner, even look for an opportunity to see some of the Magic Kingdom fireworks if you're going to make it to that late. Now, they don't start till like 9:30, but you can see the Magic Kingdom fireworks from the party from somewhere else, like at the Polynesian Beach or the Grand Floridian Beach or at the Contemporary. So think about that. Or just go back and enjoy your resort. And I think that that's something that people don't do enough of. But it's great to have that opportunity, to have the chance to do that. So I would consider that.
Here's what I would do too. It sounds like your kids are really, wanting to go, but you have the 6-year-old that you got to kind of watch. You don't want to wear out. What I would do is go to the Magic Kingdom that day, get in as much as you can, stay till it closes. Get an ADR for Whispering Canyon is what I would try to do, because I think for kids that are very active and like to be engaged in things, Whispering Canyon's an opportunity to go over to Wilderness Lodge, see the awesome decorations, one of the best ever, resorts to see during the holiday season. The restaurant's going to be fun. I don't think they're going to whine or complain because there's just a lot going on. They'll have the little wooden horse races and stuff like that. They're going to everybody's going to get a good meal. And that's a good way to wind down, to kind of make the most. You're in that area, go to those resorts. But Wilderness Lodge is what I do with a meal at Whispering Canyon. So
good.
Have a great time. It's gonna be fun. All right, well, it's time to get out of here. That was the last question of the day. Don't forget, today's show is brought to you by our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great apps like Theme Park News, Disney Edition. And one of the ththings I read the other morning on my gigantic iPhone XS Max, which Pam, you have too, and you texted me, you're like, this thing is huge. I'm like, I know. I had to get a pop socket on mine so I could hold on to the thing. There you go. Even though Mizzou lost, I can't talk about that. Anyway, so one of the great articles I was reading about was kind of talking about the ultimate Disney Christmas time package that's going on. Disney did this back in September, that week right after Labor Day. And I think I like this idea because I think Disney sees, well, we have some open rooms here. How can we make a custom? Right. I mean, it's not flexible at all. Like these are the dates, December 17th to the 22nd. You can't go early. You can't go. That's when it is. You get certain things. You're getting some time in Toy Story Land. You're getting a Christmas party. You're getting a meal over at Epcot. Kind of a
I want to do this package. I seriously do.
It's sweet. It's a great opportunity now, and the more I see this, because, I saw this in September, like, oh, that's a great idea, I thought, well, they're probably soft for like these 5 days. They had a meeting. How come, let's try something. I could just see the meeting. Like, let's try something outside the box for once and see what happens with this. The fact that it came back for Christmas makes me think that, because I personally had guests go for this in September, and I've had a lot of guests go for this now in December. And because I think what it gives you is you're going to pay this much for these components outside of this package, really.
100%, you're going to pay a lot more for them.
Exactly. I mean, if you can make the 17th to the 22nd, it's really cool to feel like a VIP because you're going to get a lanyard, you're going to get exclusive access. But I was reading about that, and I just like to see things like this because it makes me excited that Disney is offering this. Because again, I've said this for years and years on the podcast, even if I'm not taking advantage of this, which I probably won't be down there during that time. I really am tempted. I'm thinking about it.
No, right?
It isn't hurting me by not going, but it's an opportunity for an experience that I might not have. And it's not something that's like ultra expensive. Really, when I look at the components, you're getting a great deal.
Right. So, and you don't have to worry about fast passes for Toy Story Land or Pandora. You get exclusive time in those. That was the thing that just was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. So
yes, it is. So, hey, stay. And this is, you're having your breakfast, you're on your lunch break at school, maybe you're Halloween day. Paul's teaching his second graders. He's probably taking some, I don't know, what's that medicine that calms you down? Xanax or something at lunch. Because I'm telling you, man, second graders are out on Halloween. So maybe he's reading his iPhone there. Great app. So check it out. Theme Park News Disney Edition. It's free. It's for your Apple devices. Check it out over at virtualmickey.com. Again, holiday season quickly approaching. Please bookmark our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Please use that. It does help support the show. Thanks to everybody who continues to support the show that way. I cannot thank you enough. It does help cover some of our bandwidth and hosting, which is, gets to be more and more with the more listeners we get. But hey, that's a great thing. I love that we have friends all around the world. So again, just bookmark beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at @BeOurGuestMike and at @BeOurGuestPod, and drop by the Facebook group at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. All right, it's Halloween day, but we're going to come back with one more scary show on Friday, even though it's November 2nd. It's actually Paige's birthday. We're going to be talking about dining at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's scarier than chainsaws. A guy in a hot dog costume chasing you with a chainsaw. Scarier than that. We're going to give solutions. We're not about problems. We're about solutions, people. We're going to talk about that on Friday. So until then, I want to remind you, I do this every Halloween, because sometimes we just need to hear it. And I know we have the best listeners that are the most careful. Just be very, very careful. Slow down coming home from work and school and everything this afternoon. The kids are going to be out there. Some of them get out there early. They're not going to be worried about zigzagging across that street. They're not going to be worried about seeing. They'll have the Chewbacca mask on or something, and they won't be able to see where they're going. Watch out for all those kids. They're going to have a great time tonight all around the country, all around the world. Just give them some time, some space, and hey, like we said at the top of the show, this is an opportunity for all of us to really be the good in the world. You know what? Let's put a smile on a kid's face tonight. Some parents, when they're out there with their kids trick-or-treating, say hey to your neighbor while they're there. It's a great opportunity to reach out. And, we don't get to be neighborly very much lately. Everybody's so busy, but as folks come by, it's really a great opportunity to, be a great neighbor. I'm looking forward to that here in my neighborhood, and hope you do as well tonight. So for Pam and Ricky, who will be back with us next week to talk about her adventures, I'm Mike, wishing you a great and happy Halloween, and we'll see you real boo. That was kind of dumb. That was really stupid. What's real boo? That's stupid. Hey guys, everybody on Facebook, you guys are awesome today. This hot dog is hot.
It's probably made out of some kind of material not found in nature.
No, it's not. It's polyester or something. Let's see. So I was editing. You didn't cough too much. I didn't have to. I'm happy for that. Less editing.
No, I'm not coughing that much. I'm just not breathing.
Okay, if you can just do that for one more show, we'll be good.
One more.
Yeah, okay. All right. This one isn't going to be. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie says, this is a great podcast until it helped me plan for my trip the 14th to 20th with my family and my parents. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Jocelyn, this costume is hot.
Oh, God. Jocelyn, do not encourage Mike.
Hot. It's hot in here. And Betsy says she found the show because Beauty and the Beast is her favorite movie, so she found
Oh, interesting.
I wonder if we picked up listeners because of the restaurant when it opened, when it was all the
hot. I bet we did.
It's a good thing I thought of 2008 at the swimming pool.
I'm still waiting for animatronics to be loaded in there. It doesn't seem like they're going to do it.
Yeah. They're working on my calves, I think.
Did you pose for that?
I did. I flexed.
There you go.
All right. You don't run 14 miles a day for nothing. You can't get these kind of calves and not be able to go up. My wife's always like, you run all that time and you can't even go up 3 steps. Because I'm so dang sore all the time. I will stop after Dopey. All right. So 1402. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 1402 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the great agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope that you all had a great Halloween with your friends and family. We are, get this, we're in November now. It is November. It is actually my daughter Paige's 22nd birthday. And to put that in perspective, she was 11 when we started the podcast.
That's crazy.
She's now graduating from college in about 3 or 4 months. No, the end of whenever, May. I don't know, 5, 6 months, whatever it is. I still can't. I'm in shock.
Crazy.
Telling her, get a JO. She's like, what am I going to do next? I'm going to get a job and start, paying the bills. That's
right.
Job
time.
That was the goal of me. Hey, I got a job. I became a teacher. Boom, I was teaching the next day after graduation and have never stopped working a day since. So I told her, she's like, that doesn't sound fun. I'm like, yep, that sounds like the real world. Get a job. Have your fun at Mizzou. So now go out and work. Anyway, we're having, so happy birthday to Paige. I'm sure she's going to love hearing that. She doesn't listen. Anyway, so we're going to have a great time today talking Disney with you. Ricky's still out of town or, just returning from Walt Disney World. We'll talk with her next week. But joining me today from the Magic for Less Travel, we have the co-owner, Pam Forrester, still hanging in there. Pam, what's going on?
Hey, I'm excited. We're going to come up with solutions for people who are venturing into Hollywood studios, but then get a little hungry and don't know what to do. And let me tell you, been there many times, many times. It's a problem.
It is.
Or a challenge. Let's say it's a challenge.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's something that I think, we're talking about dining at Disney's Hollywood Studios. You're over there, you want to experience all the new hotness of Toy Story Land, and there's a lot to do there. You've got Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam in the evening. Maybe you're hanging out to see that. Here's the Christmas season is upon us here the next couple of weeks. You got the Star Wars fireworks. You got so much going. I mean, still, and the thing is, here's the thing why I thought about this, because as the Christmas season comes along, I think that the studios is definitely a place to be, especially at night. I think that this is a great place to, while you want to go there early in the morning, if you don't have fast passes for Slinky Dog or Alien Swirling Saucers or, Toy Story.
Careful.
But here, I think I'm trying to decide, because again, this is the first Christmas season with Toy Story Land, but with all the accoutrement, as you have said, I don't even know what that means, but I've heard you say it many times, and I think it sounds fancy, that they're going to decorate Toy Story Land with. I think that Toy Story Land really pops at night because in July, it's still decorated with Christmas lights. These are going to be Christmas lights in Christmas, so
Yeah, right?
I think, is it not the place to be at night? It's definitely top two.
Absolutely. It really is going to be. I can't wait to see this land decorated for the holidays, because they've been doing such a great job with Hollywood studios to begin with lately, that they've got to wrap in Toy Story. There's going to be wreaths and lights, and it's just going to look amazing. And that's one of the things I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, I agree. So, the thing with the studios is, and we all know this as Disney fans who've been there many times, or maybe you haven't been there yet and you're planning a vacation, and this will give you kind of a heads up and some ideas to go in with, a strategy. I think the best thing about Disney in like being a fan, somebody who is listening to today's podcast, who's reading blogs, who's keeping up with the news, is that you always want to have plan A, plan B, plan C, if not written down. Trust me, many of my guests have it on, Excel sheets and everything. This is, red is plan A, yellow is plan B, green, whatever. Right. That's awesome. I just keep it in my head and hope. But the thing is, I think you need to kind of have an idea of what you're getting yourself into. And when you go to the studios can be a place where it can be challenging to find a meal that everybody's going to enjoy, but it can also be a place where you can have some of your most remarkable meals at the same time. So the way I want to think about this is, say you go there for Rope Drop and you're there early in the morning, you want to see Toy Story Land, probably the reason you're going first. Hey, if you go down Sunset, you probably got it all to yourself for the first couple hours. You could ride Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster probably 7 or 8 times before anybody even knows you're in the park. But let's talk breakfast. Okay, so options for breakfast at the studios. The first thing I'm thinking of is Starbucks, because I want to be quick. I want to grab maybe a drink and a roll. Do they even, I don't go to Starbucks, but do they even have like cinnamon rolls at that Starbucks right there on Hollywood?
They do. They have like rolls. They have like egg sandwiches. They have lots of little choices. So, I think that that's absolutely something that you can think about, is going to Starbucks and seeing what they have available. They do have some breakfast sandwiches. So don't feel like, you only are, if you are someone who wants an egg, you're going to be able to get an egg there.
Yeah. And I think it's, this is just me, but I have to have protein every morning. Like I got to have an egg or, something with, sausage or so.
I hurt people at like 10:30.
That's it. Well, when it burns, if I have a cinnamon roll, it's good going down, but man, I'm mean in a couple hours. I'm just
That's right.
It'll be one hot dog. So I'm just saying, but So I'm trying to think, like, where else around the park?
You can do Woody's Lunchbox.
Okay.
They have the raspberry lunchbox tart and the hazelnut lunchbox tart, and then they also have some entrees. They have the s'more French toast sandwich, the banana split yogurt parfait, smoked turkey breakfast sandwich, and a breakfast bowl. So they have some things available, and they have kids meals available too. So that's someplace else that you can go.
And one of my guests, just actually, we're working on a bounce back while she was there. She's actually still there, and we were talking about how she did the early morning Toy Story experience where you pay extra, you go in early, exclusive ride time, but it also includes a breakfast. And one of the things that she shared with me is that the breakfast was a highlight. Where I think when Ricky and I talked about this, a while back, I thought that honestly, the draw of it is to be able to ride Slinky Dog and get on the rides and, not be in there with the masses. But she said, don't discount the breakfast. That was a really good part of the overall experience. So I like hearing that.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that because I think, that was an important component of it. Look, you knew it was going to be a value in terms of being able to ride those rides when you might not have had the opportunity to get the fast pass. So glad to hear it's a value in that way too.
Is there not a breakfast option down Sunset like at Fairfax Fair or Rosie's? Maybe not.
I don't think there is.
You're just starving down there. Sorry. All right. So let's kind of like overall look at the studios. Okay. So the studios, when it comes to counter service meals, when we're talking like lunch or, anything beyond lunch or dinner, my go-to is always Backlot Express, which there's a lot of, the thing is, when I go to Backlot Express, I'm not looking for great food, but what I like about Backlot Express, there's a few things that make this my go-to. Well, it's one of the only counter service places in the park, which is number one, but it's got lots of seating. It's got something on the menu that even the pickiest families, probably everybody can find something you like. You got chicken nuggets, you got chicken and waffles, you got a burger, you have usually like a salad. I think there's some kind of a chicken sandwich typically on there. And they usually have like one or two really nice kind of desserts on the menu as well. They also have alcohol if you want to get a beer or some kind of a, not a wide variety of things, but you can get like a beer or like a wine. So it's got, while it's not a huge menu, I think it does kind of cover the bases as far as a theme park restaurant where everybody can find something. It's a theme park counter service restaurant, which if I'm at the studios and I just want to grab some, chicken nuggets and a Darth Vader waffle for like $8 or $9, I'll do that and get a dessert. So it fits the bill if I'm in a hurry and I just want to eat something, but it's not a destination to eat. Do you agree there, Pam?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, I think that many of the quick service restaurants at Hollywood Studios are really just feeling like they're open and they're serving food, right? It's not something that people really dream about. Now, again, Woody's Lunchbox, they're serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. So you do have those options for there. And that's kind of a newer option. And I think someplace that people are really heading to. But if you're looking for creative quick service menus, those just really aren't happening that much in Hollywood Studios. I will say, though, one of the places that we've been going more recently is Baseline Tap House. And again, they do not have a lot of different items. They really only have like a pretzel, charcuterie plate, some almonds, and they recently came up with this ribeye steak puff. But if you're looking for something that you can just grab and something that's not going to be a real heavy meal, order a few of those. And those are something that you can do too. And then you don't have to do like Backlot Express, or the other one that comes up a lot is ABC Commissary. It's open for lunch and dinner too. But again, not anything really exciting there. I actually used to think that they had more exciting things than they do right now. So,
yeah, I'm with you. And you know what? I didn't even think about ABC Commissary until you just mentioned it. And I used to go there probably, I bet you haven't been in there for 3 or 4 years.
Cuban sandwich. They used to have the Cuban.
Yes.
Sandwich.
And that's what I used to get all the time was the Cuban. And it was very, very good. But the thing, I don't know, because I like to think about, it's kind of meta, but I like to try to think about why I do what I do at Disney. And I used to always go to the commissary, because I love the music they played, the background loop with all the old ABC theme shows in that area, and
That's the
so forth.
best.
Yeah, it's so cool, especially when they play Love Boat. I got a text the other day from Ricky, and I had missed it by the time it was on. She's like, "Hurry, turn on the Today Show! All the Love Boat people are on the Today Show." But I was on the treadmill, and it was already too late.
Oh, dang, it's too funny.
But that was one of those places I always went, and I think and it's weird because it is right centrally located in the studios, but I think it does pass everybody over. I don't know. It's just one of those places that's your other option for counter service. Of course, you got Rosie's down on Sunset, but really that's just like hot dogs and burgers. It's less extensive, and it's outside too, than Backlot Express. So that, that's where you're going. Here's kind of what I run into when I go to the studios when I get hungry is you have some good counter service options, but you have some you're not going to pay that much more to go to a 50s primetime or a sci-fi. Now, of course, if you go like the Brown Derby, you're going to be paying more because that's a signature restaurant. But I'll find myself, and I did this on the last trip, where I got on the app, looked to see what was available within like an hour or two, and we got a table at 50s primetime. And, by the time I get just the meatloaf there, it's maybe $5 more than what I would spend it. Of course, then you got a tip and you got more of a time commitment, but you're getting to sit down. Somebody's bringing the food to you. You're not hustling as much as you have to at a counter service meal. So I find that, of course, a table service meal is more, but it's not significantly more if you go to sci-fi or 50s primetime at the studios.
No, it's true. And your other option is that you can eat in the lounges. There's one at 50s and there's one at the Brown Derby. And the one at Brown Derby in particular has a menu that's not available inside the Brown Derby. It has some small plates, which have some really good food there. And they also include the famous Brown Derby Cobb salad too, but they also have some sliders and a charcuterie board and some pork belly, things like that. So that's something that's always an option, and you cannot make reservations to eat at the Brown Derby Lounge. Now, the 50s Primetime Lounge really just serves what's available in 50s. But you don't have to worry about a reservation. You can eat right there at the counter, and you have access to the full menu there at the 50s Primetime. So that's a good choice as well.
Yeah, the people that are eating in the tune-in lounge, they're always killing me because, they'll roll out with like a sampler platter, and they're sitting at the bar eating, and I'm just waiting in like one of the chairs by a black and white TV. Like, just please call my name. I'm so hungry. They're killing me. But yeah, that's a great opportunity to sneak in these lounges. You've said this for years, but they're a great opportunity to get food from the restaurant without the commitment of an ADR, because I think without an ADR, a lot of times you're boxed out. And, one of the worst restaurants I've found on property to get an ADR, honestly, like, and say you have 4 people and all of a sudden your party is 6, is 50s. Like,
oh my gosh,
not let you tag people on there. Like I can sweet talk my way into some adding people many places. Boy, the 50s, I don't know if it's like the stick or whatever they do, whatever they're doing there, they're like, nope. And I'm like, okay, you're just kidding. No, they're not letting me get 2 people in there. But it is a great opportunity to go to the tune-in lounge and kind of just take in the atmosphere that way. And
I agree.
It's easier. It's flexible. Now, let me ask you about Brown Derby over at the studios. One of the few places I've never eaten. So for folks and here's the reason I've never gone there. And this is just kind of, I don't know if it's true for our listeners. I'd like to hear some feedback over the weekend on Facebook, but Brown Derby, here's why I've never been there. If I'm going to do a signature meal, I'm going to go to a place that's more of an experience, like a Jico or a California Grill with its big, views, or, what have you. It's got to be food plus view or food plus theme or Brown Derby is, it's so under the radar and it just doesn't pop. It doesn't seem like it's an experience. So am I missing something there? I mean, because it's signature, but it just doesn't seem to stand out.
It is a signature restaurant, and the decor inside is very old Hollywood. So it's not an in-your-face kind of theme, but it's absolutely themed throughout. It just really is. They do a great job with it. There's the caricatures. You feel like you are in old Hollywood. And they have some good meals at different times. I think what happens is oftentimes you look at the menu And for me, there's not like a standout dish that I'm like, oh, I want to have that. So that's something to think about.
Okay, I get that. And of course, I mean the Cobb salad, is it the grapefruit cake for the dessert that everybody raves about over at
Yes.
Brown Derby? I got to give that a shot, because I think it sounds like something that I need to do. And again, as you become a Disney fan and as you go time and time again, you want to make sure that you do check off some of these experiences. And that's where I am with Brown Derby. Haven't been there, but it is on my radar probably to do this year before the podcast cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Again, but with kids, is it a place that kids would enjoy? I mean, what's your best tip on if you have like I got, Mallory will be 11. She's definitely not a foodie, and it's not like a place where, say, you're at Sinai, you can see the animals, like there's not I wouldn't assume that there's a big distraction there. I would say you're there for the food.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I really do. It just is, it's not something that's overwhelmingly like I think that kids are going to find that exciting.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you're there more for the food than the atmosphere, but the atmosphere is kind of a secondary thing, where it might not be secondary in some of these signature restaurants. But Joanne does they have the typical kid food, so that's good too. I appreciate that, Joanne. So let me ask you this. Okay, so when you are at the studios, of course, you have very experiential restaurants in all three of those. I would say more at 50s Primetime, where the cast kind of gets into, the wait staff gets in on, they'll call you cousin. They'll put somebody, they've been doing more of that. I noticed this past summer of putting people in the corner, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I've also seen too that at Sci-Fi that food is getting better and better as time has gone on. There was a time where Sci-Fi was really rated super low as far as the food quality. People went there for the experience of going to a drive-in rather than the food. But I'm hearing lots of good stuff about the food as well. And we just lost Pam, so we'll get her back here in just a second. Hang on. I don't know what happened. 1810. All right, Pam, I'm just a hot dog here all by myself. Thanks, guys, for being here on a Tuesday. We're going to get Pam back. Let me see if I can send her. Let's see here. Let me just send her this message. Sorry, everybody. Let's see. I'm fighting a bit of a cold. Sorry. Boom. Oh, she's restarting, so she'll be back in just 1 second. How's my costume, everybody? I stole it from Paige. It's an easy one. It's hard to do it in a Chewbacca mask. All right, I think she's here. There you are.
It'd be live just totally shut down on me.
I'm out. Tuesdays, it just doesn't work.
I was just like, I'm talking away, and then it's like, you're done. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. So
right.
Anyway, sorry.
So I continued on because I was hoping you would come back in.
We go on.
So what I talked about was how Sci-Fi was trending down for a while as far as food. People only went there for the, if you wanted to have that experience of going to a drive-in movie, and that's always been solid. But lately the food has been trending back up.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that. Lots of that.
So. All right, so so you take it from there. So I'm going to kind of close out that thought, and then I'll edit all that out. So,
okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, Jamie says this is her first time catching the live show. I was thinking about seeing how the sausage is made. This is how the hot dogs are made. That's right. That's too good. You win with comment of the day. Boom.
That's right.
That's too funny. Okay, so I'll kind of set you up here. So now, though, it seems that the food quality is trending back in the right direction over at Sci-Fi.
I know. Isn't that funny how things kind of go full circle? For a while, Sci-Fi got the reputation of being like the worst restaurant in Walt Disney World. Remember? It was like the worst. Everyone was like, don't go there. And now I've heard recently, oh my gosh, we had a great meal at Sci-Fi. Like Sci-Fi is solid. Like, so I love seeing stuff like that. I think it's really cool. And I think the thing that appeals to people about Sci-Fi in particular is that it has food that we're all sort of familiar with, right? We're talking burgers and like chili cheese fries and onion rings and stuff like that. I've noticed that they've had fried dill pickles, and that's a big thing in Pittsburgh. It has always been. So anytime I see fried dill pickles, I'm like, oh, I want fried dill pickles. But they have like a wedge salad. They have a buffalo chicken salad. They have sort of comforty food that is that's interesting too. They also have some nice vegetarian options, like a vegetarian falafel burger, and a vegan tofu lettuce wrap, which I think is interesting. But they have food that I think that you'd find in a diner. And when you're talking about desserts like house-made Sci-Fi candy bar, hello, warm glazed donut, yes, and s'mores brownie and ice cream. So, I mean, these are desserts that people want to have. I mean, who doesn't want a s'mores brownie? So I've heard, lots of people like, you know what? We always go to Sci-Fi now. So it's come a long way.
It has. It's come back, and I think again, it was for the experience 5 years ago. Now it's definitely for the food and the experience, which is great. When you think about it, there's been kind of a revival in the past, I'd say 2 to 3 years of food trucks. And of course they're all around Walt Disney World. But if you think about the offerings at Sci-Fi, it's almost like food truck food, that they're bringing right to your car.
Love that. And plus you get some entertainment. And I think that's something that's really cool. We always crack up at the little clips that are playing, on the thing. Not only is it the monsters and the aliens, but just the advertising, right? I mean, some of the advertising is awesome. I think there's like some kind of note about PDA too, like public displays of affection. So a little educational moment for everyone too.
Take your preteens there and just let them know how you correctly drop off the date after the date.
Right. So anyways.
And mom are waiting on the other side of that door.
That's right. That's right.
Brittany actually in the live chat brings up a great point about Brown Derby. And I think this is something she is spot on with this comment. She says, I think the theming made more sense when Hollywood Studios was more of a Hollywood themed, for a lack of a better way of putting it. And I think she's exactly right, where the studios is kind of shaking that old Hollywood theme with, the new, you're going to have Galaxy's Edge, you're going to have you have Toy Story Land now. So maybe it's, it fit in perfectly in like the early 90s, where maybe not so much today.
Where they said like the theme was that they bring you into the movies. Now it's sort of shifted from where they bring you into the movies to now this is where the movies live. This is where you can sort of go and visit the movies, right? I'm going to be able to visit Star Wars. I'm going to be able to visit Mickey and Minnie. I'm going to be able to visit, those kind of things, visit Indiana Jones. I kind of like that. But yes, you aren't going to be able to go to Hollywood Studios and see an episode of Home Improvement being filmed anymore.
Dang.
I know, right? But that brings back fond memories.
Okay, so I want to say shout out to Lauren, who is watching in a town that is very near Walt Disney World. It's on the screen, and I got to tell a joke real quick about this town's name. Okay, so she's watching in Kissimmee or Kissimmee, because some people don't know exactly how it's pronounced. So there was this couple that was driving through Kissimmee or Kissimmee. They were arguing about how you pronounce this town that is next to Walt Disney World. So they're in the car. It's an older couple, and they decide, we're going to solve this once and for all. We're going to pull off the interstate. I guess it's I-4, and they're going through a quick fast food restaurant. They're going to go into the drive-through, and they're going to ask, how do you pronounce this name? Because obviously these people live there. They work at the fast food restaurant. So they go in, they're in the drive-through lane. They get up. They're like, welcome to whatever. How can we help you? And so the guy, is sitting in the driver's seat, the woman's in the passenger seat, and he's like, we're in this big argument and we need to know how to pronounce, where are we? How do you say where we are right now? And the person comes back and says, sir, we pronounce it Burger King. Dude,
That's a dad joke.
Yeah, it is a dad. I heard that on trucker radio the other day. I was like, okay, Sydney, we can incorporate that with the podcast because it's Florida.
Capital B, capital K, Burger King.
And Amy just jumped in. We just answered your question, so listen to that on Wednesday. And Tina says her family loves sci-fi because her parents remembered seeing those movies at the movies.
That's hysterical.
And there's actually a mention of a monkey that was at the St. Louis Zoo, so I get a kick out of that every time. He's like,
Tina, did they know the PDA commercial? Let's just ask that.
You know what? Here's kind of an under reported thing when you go to the studios and you get hungry. Now, this is for the time of the year when there's longer park hours because this is more of a time commitment. But if you think about it, you can hop on that friendship boat and you can quickly have access to the Swan, the Dolphin, the Yacht Club, and the Boardwalk, which is some of the best dining out there. Now, Pam, is this something? This is kind of an outside the box strategy, but it's a great way to incorporate a great meal, get outside the crowds, and then come on back. That's what I would think about doing too.
Absolutely. Even during, times of the year when the park's going to be open longer, one of the places that you can plan on eating and make an advanced dining reservation for is the new Ale and Compass, which I think has solid food offerings. Go ahead and eat there. Then you can either take the boat or walk over to the studios in the evening and enjoy that. But you also have greats like Beaches and Cream. Ale and Compass has a lounge. You can have that. They have some fancier meals with Yachtsman, but then they also have Cape May Cafe. The Boardwalk has fancy meals like Flying Fish, but then they also have Big River Grill and Trattoria Al Forno. So lots of things. And of course, ESPN is there too, which I don't know. Every now and then I look over at that and I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, I like ESPN. I think it's because that's my food. Like I like bar food. I like sports. I mean, I think it's underrated. I wish they'd make it bigger.
Bigger? It's humongous.
But it's still impossible to get in. Like when there's a big game going on, you know what I'm saying? Like say, during the college football playoff or the Super Bowl or, what I really noticed when it was really hard to get in was during World Cup because, I think people need a place to gather. Here's the way I see it. Like Walt Disney World is an amalgam of people from all over the planet. But when your team is in the big game, people need a place to rally, where there are wings and beer and sports. That's kind of like the Buffalo Wild Wings thing. But the ESPN Club does that too. I think that I saw this. Paige was really into World Cup a couple of years ago. We were down there in the summer and it was a great place. I was not a soccer fan at all. I'm an American sports guy. I try to enjoy soccer, but I just can't. I can't get into it as much as some people. But here's what I loved was that I love being in ESPN. It was a game like with Colombia playing against Brazil. And these people, like we were watching the game, but I was there more for the food. You can see Mallory back there speaking it, by the way. Hi.
I'm Al.
He was in the shot. So anyway, we were there. And the thing is, as a pure sports fan, I love the atmosphere because like as somebody who doesn't really enjoy soccer as much as others, every crossing pass, people were dying. Like people were falling on the floor every time there was a shot, and like the one team won, the other team lost. And you could cut the tension in that place, man. I thought there might be a civil war, like in the place when the one team won and the other, because sports are serious business. And I like being in that kind of an environment. So that was kind of fun. But I like what you're saying, incorporate Beaches and Cream. That's not something that's going to take forever. You can get a good meal. You also have Ample Hills, go get a good dessert, head on back and enjoy the night. Because I think to me, while the mornings at the studios are going to be about get as much done as you can, especially with Toy Story Land, I think the evenings are going to turn in, especially during the holiday season, into atmosphere soaking in, right? I mean, I want to hear the background loops. I want to see the Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. I want to enjoy the decorations of Toy Story Land at night. And that's something you can slow down and see, where if you schedule, say, a 4 or 5 o'clock dinner, 6 o'clock dinner at the boardwalk or beach club, yacht club, what have you, I think that's a great kind of compromise for a good day at the studios.
I agree. And then one of the other things you can plan on doing is stopping at some of those places like the Sweet Spells shop. They have some great sweet treats, and you can enjoy those as you sort of soak in that atmosphere. Or go to like Hollywood Scoops and get some good ice cream there. Or to one of the Joffrey's coffee and tea kiosks and get a hot or a cold drink. The one thing that the studios does seem to have is lots of places to grab a good snack.
Yes.
So, I mean, at least you have that option available to you.
And somebody mentioned earlier, we were talking about breakfast options at the studios, was that the Joffrey's kiosk right outside of Toy Story Land at the studios has donuts. And I will say, I've had their donuts, and their donuts are solid. They are great.
They have one of those great pink monstrosities too. Those great big huge.
That's what I had. I think that's what it was. Is that not a donut or some kind of?
No, I think you can get those there. So
hot dog like that donut. I'm just saying. So lots of options, and I think we went into it saying it's scary to try to eat at the studios, but if you think outside the box, it can be an opportunity. Lots
Absolutely.
of snacking, lots of great lounge eating, where you can get the full-on meals, but you can also have a different atmosphere of the lounge. Counter service lacking, I have to say that. But other than that, if you just go scarf down some chicken and waffles for $9 or $10 back at Backlot Express and kind of supplement that throughout the day with great snacks, it's a great day. There you go. So
not much to complain about.
Not really. I think with every problem you have when it comes to Walt Disney World trip planning, I think there's an equal opportunity for a fun solution.
That's right. That's what it's about, is finding something different. I mean, you don't always have to have a headliner.
No, you really don't. I mean, think about the opportunities at Walt Disney World for snacking. Really. I mean, of course you need protein throughout the day, but you could really not do a meal and just snack your way around for a weekend and really have a great time.
Yeah. I would come back home without much to complain about. So
not really. So I know it is Wine and Dine race weekend. This weekend got lots of lizards descending on Walt Disney World as we speak. So everybody have some great runs this week. I shouldn't say that. I should rephrase that because we're talking about dining. Have a great time out on the race course this weekend. It's a fun weekend. It really is. Wine and Dine. We run to eat to run, and that's kind of the celebration of that down at Walt Disney World this weekend. So please, please, please post your pictures and all your medals and the fun times out on the courses and the fun times together as lizards. I'm sad that I'm missing this one, but lots going on with Paige's birthday this weekend. She's coming home. So post those, hashtag run BOGP this weekend. I'll retweet those. I'll get those out there. But most importantly, have a great weekend, have a celebration, have fun. I know that you guys are going to have some personal bests. You're going to maybe not have personal records out there. And more importantly, just get great pictures, and great fun and great memories. So have a great time at Wine and Dine Race Weekend. Wish I could be there, but can't wait to see everybody sharing on social media. So that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much to our friends at the Magic for Less Travel for sponsoring today's show, as always. And like I said at the top of the show, it's November, but it's still not too late to get down there here in 2018 and see all the great Christmas offerings. If you're somebody like me, I'm happy with the Christmas snacks. I'm happy with going to a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. I'm happy with, it doesn't take much to make me excited. Give me some Christmas lights and some background loops, and you got a happy hot dog right here. So I'm just saying, but there are rooms available. There's discounts still available here and there. But what you need to do today is drop by the magicforless.com, fill out that free no obligation quote, pick a resort, pick some dates, and an agent will get back to you right away just to talk about the possibility of getting down there to see it snow on Main Street USA, or, to see the wonderful decorations over at the studios during the holiday season I'm missing the Osborne lights, but you still got the Christmas music everywhere. Swing by Wilderness Lodge, see that amazing tree, go through Fort Wilderness and see the awesome decorations that are put on by the guests, which is pretty cool. So there's so much to do during the holiday season, and you can still make it happen. So drop by the magicforless.com today. And again, as the holidays do approach, please do support the show with our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. We thank you so very much for that. And give us a follow on the social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Be Our Guest Pod and at Be Our Guest Mike. And again, the great Facebook page over at facebook.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. All right, time to duck out of here and let you have an amazing weekend. Again, happy birthday to Paige. And great runs to all of the Be Our Guest Podcast listeners. Get out there, have some fun, make some memories, and enjoy every single mile, every single step. And we'll be back again on Monday. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. And until we see you again, stay safe, and we'll see you real soon. Yay! Thanks for being here today.
For sure.
The day skipping work. I'm not telling your boss. I'm working with my boss right now. All right, back to work for me. Let's make some magic. And you need to go get some drinks and take a break from talking. That's what
I do.
Costume up blazing hot. All right, man. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Okay. Talk to you. Bye.
Yep. Hot
Bye,
dog.
everyone.
I gotta do this one time for everybody. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. And I don't know the rest of the song because Paige.
I think it's just hot dog, hot diggity dog.
Some words in the middle. There's full of cheer. We're getting out of here. I don't know. Anyway, we'll probably down on Facebook for bad singing. All right, you guys have a good day, everybody.
All right, there you go. Bye-bye.